Yeah.
You guys are all good, right?
Yep.
All righty. I'd like to bring the Town of Wappinger Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. Can I have roll call, please, be?
Mr. Delacorte?
Here.
Mr. Lorenzini?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Gallardi?
Here. All right, first order of business tonight will be acceptance of the minutes from November 9th, 2022. Everybody have a chance to review? Any changes? Revisions? No? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
Make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, next order of business tonight is adjourned public hearing, appeal number 227766, area variance, Peter J. Pavone, seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 40 feet to the rear yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 7 feet for the legalization of a 12-foot by 16-foot gazebo, thus requesting a variance of 33 feet. Where 20 feet to the side right property line is required, the applicant can provide 8 feet for the legalization of a 12-foot by 16-foot gazebo, thus requesting a variance of 12 feet. The property is located at 8 Reggie Drive and is identified as tax grid number 625701-11569 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, to open the adjourned public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the adjourned public hearing.
Second?
Second.
So moved. Is there anybody here this evening to speak on behalf of this application? You look familiar. State your name, please, and address.
It's Peter Pavone.
Gotcha. And just briefly for the board's benefit and anybody who's listening in, what you need. Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, you need a microphone.
How's this?
There you go. See? All right, for the board's benefit, anybody listening in, can I please have a brief description of what you need and why you need it?
Okay, I have built a gazebo on the property. I have a corner lot, which greatly reduces my backyard size. And when I put it up, I took the wrong assumption that I needed 5 feet from either side. And that's where I put myself in a predicament here.
Gotcha. Now, I know we came to your property, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Right? And then we saw the gazebo that you constructed, correct?
Yes.
Right. And then you have it tucked nice and neatly into that. We saw how you made the gazebo yourself.
Yes.
And you have it tucked in nice and neatly to that corner.
Yes.
I know we took a look at, just give me a second, just to refamiliarize myself.
Yes.
At the gazebo and what you have in, it's basically storage, right?
Well, that's for the winter time.
In the winter time, right.
Yeah.
I know, we were all there, we all took a look at it. Didn't you guys have any questions for Mr. Pavone on the gazebo?
I would make a comment. I thought it was very, very nicely constructed.
Oh, thank you.
You did a very nice job. It was a very nice gazebo. I would say that as well. Any other questions? Does anybody in the audience have any comments or questions regarding this application? No? You guys? Any more? No? No. All right, could I have a motion, please, then, to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, can I have a motion then to deny or grant the applicant the variance? I would make a motion to grant the applicant the variance, but I'm going to put a little stipulation on the variance, and then I'll read through the conditions.
Okay.
My stipulation is that if the structure would ever have to be rebuilt or replaced, or any other structure in that spot, it would need to meet the zoning code at that time.
Yeah, that's...
So if the gazebo for any reason fell down, was destroyed, a tree, whatever, if it ever needed to be rebuilt, it would have to meet zoning at that time.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put that as a stipulation and make a motion to grant the applicant the variance with that stipulation. Whether your benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means, no, it cannot. Does it create any undesirable changes or effects to your neighborhood? No, it does not. Whether the request is substantial, yes, it is, but that's not in and of itself enough for me to deny the variance. Whether the variance would have any adverse effects on, or environmental effects on the neighborhood, no, it will not. And is it self-created? Yes, the variance is. So I am going to make a motion to grant the applicant the variance with the stipulation. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please, B.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes.
Mr. Lorenzini?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
No.
Mr. Gallardi?
Yes. Okay, so your variance is granted with the stipulation.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Sure, you're free to go tonight. All right, next on the agenda tonight is, hold on 1 second, public hearing, appeal number 227769, area variance, George Schmidt, seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 40 feet to the rear yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 28.6 feet for the legalization of an in-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 11.4 feet. Where 20 feet to the side left yard property line is required, the applicant can provide 13.1 feet for the installation of an in-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 6.9 feet. The property is located at 27 Hilltop Drive and is identified as tax grid number 625804930064 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, open?
I don't see him.
I don't see him either.
So we come back to it maybe then?
If he walks in
Okay.
before the meeting's over.
All right, so the applicant is not here tonight, so, well, yet, anyway. So we'll put that on the back burner and may come back to it. Okay. So I'm going to then go to the next item on the agenda, is a discussion. Appeal number 22771, area variance, Ronald A. Wessner, seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 40 feet to the rear yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 20 feet for the construction of a 30 by 30 foot detached garage, thus requesting a variance of 20 feet. Where no accessory structure can have a footprint greater than 600 square feet, nor a height in excess of 20 feet, the applicant is proposing to construct a 30 by 30 foot detached garage, thus requesting a variance of 300 square feet. The property is located at 9 Sylvia Drive and is identified as tax grid number 625702756777 in the town of Wappinger. Anyone here tonight? You are. And for the record, please, your name and address.
Ron Wessner, 9 Sylvia Drive in Wappingers.
Gotcha. And for the board's benefit, and anybody listening in, what you need and why you need it, brief description.
I'm looking to put a separate garage in the back, mainly because the way my property is situated, my driveway is like very steep, and it just goes right to the front of the house. So it makes it really tough to kind of unload groceries or get the kids in and out of the cars. So it'd be ideal to kind of be able to go up and then hit level ground, and then the garage could kind of be in the back. So that's kind of like the first thing. And then, you know, just for like the storage and stuff, I kind of like to get the garage stuff out of the split level ranch, kind of have it separate in the back. And then maybe down in the future, I could do something with that space downstairs, you know, maybe finish it off or something at a later date.
Gotcha. And you're looking for a 30 by 30. What, is the height under or in excess of 20 feet?
No.
Do you know? What is it?
I just wanted the 30 by 30 because like the garage I have now is 24 by 24 on the house, and it's tight with all the stuff that we got in there and the kids, you know, toys and whatnot.
Do you know what the height of the structure is?
I could meet that requirement, 20. I don't really need excess height.
Okay. That would be another variance. variance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't need that.
Okay. I see you have, it looks like you have, looking at just a sketch you provided, it looks like you have it tucked into the back corner of the driveway? Is that what, the 30 by 30?
Right, kind of, you would go to the left of the house, the driveway goes to the left of the house, so you would just put the garage kind of at the back there,
Is that
20
driveway
feet off the
existing?
property line.
That driveway existing?
Yes.
Goes all the way back?
Yeah.
So I just have a question. Is this garage proposed 160 feet back from your house?
It's, well, I don't know that number offhand, but it's,
You wrote 160 feet from the
yeah, I was
garage.
going off the measurements on the drawings. So I figured, you know, I would see if I can get the approval, and then I can give the exact specifics at that point.
No, so we need the exact specifics here, because your variance is based on a factual number,
Okay.
not later on.
Well, I was measuring off the, off of those, the survey, and then off the back of the property is a little easier to measure, because that's only like 40 feet.
You know, so Barbara, on the variance, he's looking for, it doesn't look like he's looking for any type of a setback variance, right?
He's looking for a rear yard variance. He needs 40 feet, and he's pushed the
Gotcha.
garage so far
Yes.
back that it's only 20 feet from the rear.
Oh,
So my question is, he has 160 feet.
all right, I get you.
Well, why? I guess the reason for that is the way my property is situated.
Yeah,
It goes uphill. Behind me is actually that retention pond that Toll Brothers built back there. And then you keep going all the way up the hill, so there's not a house for really far away. So why not push the garage back a little bit? Why encroach into your property, you know, if you can push it back just that little bit more to have enough room there? Just
Right.
seemed to make sense, you know, in the layout.
right, but I guess you what Barbara's saying as well, though. You know, if it's a sizable variance, right? If it didn't have to go back that far, it would, you know, benefit you,
Right. I just figured there's nobody behind me.
40 feet.
Mr. Wester, you talked about a garage that you have already that's too small? That's the one inside the house or something?
No, I'm just talking about it's a split level ranch. So you come with a 2-car garage. It's part of the house.
That's what I mean. So the one you have is 30 by 30, you're saying?
No, what I have is 24 by 24.
24 by 24.
So judging by what I have in there now between my kids' toys and stuff like that, it's getting tight. So it would be nice to have a 30 by 30 so I know I have enough room to store everything and put stuff. And then in the future, I could maybe do something with that space on the house.
So you won't really have an actual survey, right, that would show the location of the garage,
I can get you one
okay?
before we move forward.
Well, like Barbara mentioned, you know, we're thinking that it's 20, right? And it's only gonna cause you a lot of angst down the road if it ultimately isn't 20. So it's an accurate survey would benefit. Because you basically want to locate the garage exactly where it is, right?
Okay.
And not kind of estimated. We obviously going to need to come out to the house and take a look. We do site visits. Won't be this Saturday, but it would be the 10th. So,
December.
so the 10th of December, we'll do a site visit. Now, we'll come to the house, be about 9 o'clock in the morning. What we'll need you to do is to locate somehow the footprint of the garage where you want it.
Okay.
And if you can identify somehow the property lines so that we can, you know, get an accurate feel as to where it is and how it is and all that good stuff, that would help as well.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
All right, so we're gonna do the site visit on 12/10 at 9 o'clock. You guys okay with that? That date, that work for everybody?
Yeah. Public hearing?
All right, so we'll do the site visit on the 10th, and then we're gonna schedule you then also for a public hearing on that following zoning board, which would be the 13th, which would be December 13th.
Okay,
So we'll schedule your public hearing for the 13th, and we'll see you on the 10th.
great. Thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome.
Peter, Mr. Schmidt here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll go.
if you want to jump back.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, so what we are gonna do is we're gonna jump back to the public hearing that's on the agenda that we skipped over. So we're gonna jump on to appeal number 227769, area variance. George Schmidt seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district where 40 to the rear property line is required. The applicant can provide 28.6 feet for the installation of an in-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 11.4 feet. Where 20 feet to the side left yard property line is required, the applicant can provide 13.1 feet for the installation of an in-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 6.9 feet. The property is located at 27 Hilltop Drive and is identified as tax grid number 625804930064 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
Second?
All in favor? All right, so moved. Mr. Schmidt, please step to the podium. And for the record, your name and address.
George Schmidt, 27 Hilltop Drive. Appreciate you waiting for me.
Gotcha. And everybody, for the benefit of the board, and anybody who might be listening in the public, what you need and why you need it. Brief description.
So we have a renovation of an in-ground pool, which was built in the 1970s. The pool was built on basically the same footprint. My understanding was, at the time the pool was built, the regulations for the zoning variance, or the boundary, was less than what it is now. So by putting the pool in the similar footprint of what was there before, requires a variance to the new larger set-off distance to the
Gotcha.
left and to the rear.
Okay, so we were all at the house for a second time, right? So what you got going on there? Well, you got some topo, you know, you'd have to deal with on the one side, which kind of dictated how you had to rotate and place the pool. I mean, you know, we've seen this a couple of times now and been through it. I asked you all the questions, you know, at the home that we needed to answer. And if you guys have any other additional questions or concerns for Mr. Schmidt. I do not. No?
No.
No.
Right, anybody in the audience have any questions for Mr. Schmidt? All right, have a motion, please, to close the public
Motion
hearing.
to close.
Have a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Can I have a motion then, please, to grant or deny the applicant the variance?
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to grant the variance. The requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There would be no substantial detriment created to nearby properties. There is no other feasible method available for him to pursue to achieve the benefit you seek other than the requested variance. The requested area variance is not substantial. The proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. The alleged difficulty is self-created, but therein it is not enough to say no, so.
All right, can I have a second?
Second?
All right, roll call, please, B.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Galati?
Yes. So your variance has been granted, and you're all set?
Thank you very much.
Sure. Can I run out and get a drink of water?
It's very warm in here.
See, I'll be right back, Gary.
I'm good.
Now, did you shoot this cover that?
your eye. All righty. Next item on the agenda this evening is a discussion, appeal number 217738, area variance. Neil Ryan Blasser seeking an area variance sections 24030 and 24037 of district regulations in an R40/80 zoning district, where no more than 2 accessory buildings shall be permitted in a one-family residential district. The applicant is proposing 3 accessory buildings. Where no accessory building shall have a footprint greater than 600 square feet, nor a height in excess of 20 feet, the applicant is proposing to construct a 3,200 square foot pole barn with a 12-foot lean-to with heat and electric for storage of tractor and farm equipment. The pole barn would be 40 feet by 80 feet, and is therefore the applicant is seeking a 2,600 square foot variance. The property is located at 41 Didell Road and is identified as tax grid number 6359-03-274312 in the town of Wappinger. Looks like some folks are here to represent the applicant.
Mr. Galati, while
Yes.
they're coming up, there's just a little correction. So because they have over 5 acres, they're allowed 900 square feet. 1,200 square feet. I'm gonna look that up, but we'll adjust that for the public hearing.
Okay. You know, too, Barbara, on the total square footage of the building, would the lean-to account in that calculation? It does, right? So the 3,200 square feet would be 3,200 plus 12 foot by
I think it was
80 feet,
960.
right? So it was 960? I think it was, does that?
4160.
Who has a calculator? So we're gonna have, so the total square footage is gonna be 3,200 plus, right? Is it 960?
Yes.
960, so if my math is correct, it's 4160.
Yes.
So your total footprint then would be 4160, correct? Okay, so for the board's benefit and anybody who might be listening in, your name and address, please. Or not your address, but your name and the applicant.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. My name is Frank J. Smith III, attorney from the Law Office of Schilling and Smith, based in Carmel.
Gotcha.
I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Neil Blazer, who is here with me.
You,
Yeah, so I'm at 41 Didell Road.
you're Neil.
I'm Neil. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, Mr. Chairman, I have a presentation prepared, but being that we're on for discussion this evening, I
Yes.
think that may be better well served for the public hearing,
Sure.
particularly now learning some of the differences in the application. I can give you a brief description of what it is we're looking to do and why,
Sure.
and then we can field any questions that you may have.
perfect.
So the property, 41 Didell Road, as I'm sure the board is aware, it's a heavy agricultural area. What I brought with me this evening is a board showing some of the other accessory structures and agricultural buildings that surround the property in that general area. The property is part of Dutchess County Agricultural District Number 22. And obviously, we are seeking to construct a pole barn that is larger than what the town code permits. This is primarily to store farm implements, farm products, and to keep the property tidy.
Gotcha. That's it? We're done?
I have a whole lot more, but I'm not sure how in-depth you want me to get into it.
Well, let's start with a few questions.
Okay.
Right? So the pole barn obviously is a substantial structure, right? Especially for I know the total property is about 10, 12 acres?
10.7.
10%, right. Even though it's a decent-sized piece of property, but you have a couple other outbuildings on the property as well. So it is a substantial structure. So currently, you do, I'm just reading some of the, notes you sent us. Currently, you are farming hay on the property?
Yeah, so it's hay. We have vegetables up.
Gotcha.
And
the
then
chick-
also chickens.
Right, chicken.
and chicken
And
eggs.
the chicken, now, we were at your property about a year or so
Yeah.
ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. And you have another outbuilding that you have, it's like a horse barn?
Yeah,
that
that's
correct?
actually, that's a chicken coop right now.
Oh, that's
Yep.
chicken coop, so there's chickens in there?
Yeah,
So the chickens are basically housed in a coop?
yeah.
Okay. They don't run like
No,
that?
they do.
I don't
Free
remember
range,
seeing
yeah.
them.
So we've got the barn,
Yeah.
and then I have another chicken coop, that's the second
Gotcha.
accessory building.
It's a lot of chickens.
Yeah, 150 chickens, so.
Gotcha, gotcha, I see that. Now, as far as the new structure goes, your primary purpose of that would be to store farm equipment, such as?
Yeah, the tractor and the implements for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Just-
so, I mean,
just-
those are really big, so they take up a lot of room.
Just-
you know.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of room in there for,
Yeah.
for a tractor.
And right now, everything's outside, so it's.
What's that?
Everything's outside right now, so it's
Right.
getting weathered.
So it's a big structure, so you're gonna be something more in there than a tractor, right?
Well, you got the baler for the hay. You
Gotcha.
got all the implements behind the tractor,
Gotcha.
so those are really big.
Gotcha. Now, I thought I read somewhere where you were gonna have some other type, like snowplow equipment or something in there. Is that the case?
Snowplow?
Yeah, I thought I read somewhere. Well, maybe I could be wrong. Give me a minute.
Do you have a full breakdown of what's going into the structure? In the past, we've asked people to kind of
Yeah,
prove
I
the
got-
need by kind of giving us a diagram or a breakdown of exactly, why they need it. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Not everything, but I can show you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
This isn't everything, but two tractors.
So,
Baler, there's another-
two tractors, a trailer there, whatever this guy is.
It's a hay elevator.
Okay.
And there's another baler in the back. There's the rake. You got a rototiller. It's not pictured. So it's going on top of the hill.
Okay.
Right, let's take a quick look here.
And the overhang portion, would this all be inside and
Yeah, the
the
trailer I'm
overhangs?
gonna put on the overhang.
Okay.
You know, that's not going. Basically all the farm stuff. The tractors, the implements.
Gotcha. Does the building really need to be that big?
Yeah, I mean, I still need more stuff to put in.
Right.
Eventually. This is just, we're just getting started.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think last time we talked to you, you were looking to get an official agricultural designation.
I'm in the Ag District 22 right now.
You're in the district, but you had I think prove you were selling a certain amount of produce or something, correct?
So first off, I
You can
just
go
wanted,
right here.
yep, I wanted to provide you with a letter of support that we got from the
Excuse me,
neighbor.
gentlemen, we need, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're moving back. Thank you.
Sure.
So I think it's important to draw the distinction between agricultural district designation versus agricultural exemption designation. This property is located within Dutchess County Agricultural District 22. That was previously approved prior to Mr. Blazer purchasing the property and has absolutely nothing to do with the agricultural exemption. The agricultural exemption is done through the assessor's office. That's to help alleviate with taxes and things like that. But it's an entirely separate situation than the agricultural district.
Right. And I remember when we met you last, we had asked you if you might want to go down that, not the tax assessor, but I don't remember the exact terminology. Lisa, maybe you could help me out. With you could apply to the state to actually get that designation, right? There was an application or a form, I don't know exactly what it's called.
For farm operations under 305A.
Yeah, so we are firmly within the agricultural district. So that's already been established through the county planning department.
Right, the distinction is, we know the property is in an ag district, and to the extent that the barn is being used for agricultural uses, there's no issue with that, just as a general position. The concern is that the building is so overlarge. We've had problems in the past with them becoming like contractor yards or being used to store other people's equipment or things like that. So I think what the board would want to know as maybe as a future submission or for the public hearing would be like, you know, that you actually own or lease the equipment, it's for your use on the premises, because frankly, you know, you've got a 10-acre parcel, some portion of that is your homestead, which doesn't count toward the ag. It seems like an awful lot of equipment for a really small farm. So, I mean, I know, you know, you're entitled to whatever you want to purchase and use, but the board needs to be comfortable that the barn is being used for agricultural purposes as opposed to contractor's yards or other, you know. And the reference, Mr. Chair, before that you were talking about is, it was in the applicant's fee under their application, why they need the variances. It says he wants to start farming and storing equipment, i.e. tractor equipment, attachments, lawn equipment, and plow.
Oh.
So, like if it's.
I think the plow would refer to a farm plow, and not a snow
I
plow.
was gonna say, was it
Right.
plow like behind the
lawn equipment,
horse?
Or is that for the hay, or is that for?
Well, a plow would be for planting agriculture at a later date, whether it's corn or other vegetables. You run it behind the tractor, and then you put the seeds in it.
So,
And so I'm new to this, I wasn't here at the last meeting, but the testimony I thought was that this was, I thought your dad used the phrase a gentleman's farm, and it was not gonna be like a full-time farm. It was that you were gonna keep your day job, so to speak, and use this. Is the plan at some point to make this a fully, you know, like 24/7 operational farm?
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's what we're pretty much doing right now, you know?
The discussion last time, I thought, was that if it was a legal farm, that he could basically build whatever he wanted, no?
So let's just clarify, that area that's in the ag, there's also a lot of single-family homes there.
Yeah.
So being in an agricultural district doesn't automatically mean everyone's farming.
Correct.
Didell Road has a lot of just homes, some people have a horse for their own enjoyment, some
Absolutely.
have nothing, they just cut their couple of acres of grass. So the fact that you bought a house with 10 acres and you want to farm it is fine. So, but we have farms on Didell that don't have barns that big. And you have a barn, correct?
Yeah, but that's a chicken coop right now.
How big is that barn?
It's 25 to 28.
I thought there was a former horse barn on the property too.
Yeah, that's the chicken coop now.
So you have a chicken coop and a barn.
Yeah, small chicken coop and then I got the barn. So
Two chicken coops.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
The new
that,
I got newer chickens that are in the smaller one, and I got the older one.
so the 25 by 20 barn is just chickens, the whole
Yeah.
thing?
Yep.
And are there any, there's no plans to put chickens in the new, the
New
potential
one?
full barn?
No, that's
Okay.
just for the farming equipment.
And how many, I'm sorry, how many chickens did you say you have now?
We have about 150. So,
Okay. And you do them for poultry as well as for eggs, or just for eggs?
just eggs right now. And we sell 40 dozen a week to a meat market in Cold Spring.
Would you be able to provide the board like that documentation? We don't need the, you know,
Yeah.
the price or the address or anything, but some evidence of the
Yeah.
sale so that we have. I mean, the 305 application talks about things like how much of your property is under ag use, what type of, like, you know, what your revenues kind of stuff. That's the information that I think would be helpful for the board for the next meeting to be able to determine that the entirety, I mean, because we're at like 4,100 square feet, that's a big barn, so.
Well, and I also just want to make clear that by virtue of the property being located within the county's agricultural district, does not mean that we can erect whatever it is we would like to do on the property.
Sure.
We do need to comply with the zoning code. We do
why
need
you're
to. And we also need to apply with all of the administrative remedies that the municipality affords us, hence our reason for being here.
Gotcha.
So the spirit of the agricultural district law is to protect farm owners and farm operators from overly burdensome regulations. In this instance, the overly burdensome regulation would be a limitation on accessory buildings, along with the restriction on square footage. And although there are farms on Didell Road with smaller structures, there's also much larger structures. So I think as it relates to the character of the neighborhood, we fit squarely within it. I mean, a site visit would reveal, and it's hard to see on this map here, but this is our parcel of property, and in blue highlighted are all of these barns that we've taken photos of to provide the board. So although on paper that number seems substantial, as it relates to the property itself, it's much less than 1% of the total area. And then on top of it, plenty of our neighbors have these large structures as well.
Yeah, we've been to the property. We'll come back as well to basically reacquaint ourselves, you know,
Thank you.
with your property there. It's been a year or whatever since we've been there. Well, might as well say, we'll schedule that for that same Saturday, which was 10th. Right, so 12:10, probably around 9:30, like between 9:15 and 9:30, we'll be out at the house. What would be very helpful if you could mark out the footprint of the building and where it's going to be at, you know, and the footprint, you know, so we can see that. Okay, and we'll get a better look at that and, you know, basically see where it is, how it's situated on the property, and the footprint of it as well. We'll do that. You know,
And what was the name of the form that Lisa was mentioning? You mentioned they should fill out a form that has a lot of information about,
There's, on the Department of Agriculture and Markets website, there's a 305B is what regulates what's a farm operation under the state guidelines, and that has some information in there. So, I mean, I don't know that you need to complete the form, that would probably be the easiest way. I don't think it's incredibly burdensome to do, but it provides information about, you know, how many acres are being hay or farmed or so on.
Yeah, and I'll double check, and I don't know the name of the form off the top of my head, but that sounds like the agricultural exemption form, which is where you need to show your gross receipts and then the amount of acreage at which you're farming.
No, I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, that's fine, and if I'm unaware of it, then I will be fully prepared for our next meeting. But that sounds, I think part of the issue that we've had is with clarifying the distinction between the exemption and the district designation. And I will tell this board that the Dutchess County Department of Planning has been absolutely wonderful as it relates to providing us with resources as to what is allowed in an agricultural district, what that designation means. And effectively, it's a protection for farm owners, farm operators against regulations such as these. So we're here first to see if we can secure our variance to the zoning board. And then obviously there's recourse through Ag and Markets to appeal from there. But we would like to provide you with whatever information that you would need to be able to make an informed decision before this board here.
The document title is, it's 305-A questionnaire-startup_farms.pdf. So it's basically a startup to find out if you qualify to be a farm operation. It's my understanding. I looked at it briefly this afternoon, so, and I'm happy if it makes sense to talk to you between now and the next meeting offline, we can do that.
No, that would be wonderful, because I want to make sure that that's completely clear, because my understanding is that that information is related to the tax exemption, and the permission to be able to farm is based upon the local code. So I don't think that the state quite cares as it relates to the farm use that you have and its size, only if you're going to get an abatement of taxes on your property, your equipment, sales tax, etc. Let's do it. Thank you.
Okay.
I wanted to mention one other thing.
Sure.
We were talking a little bit about the amount of equipment and the size of the barn. In the past, we've had applicants provide a layout of physically where and where the equipment would be, or, you know, their truck or whatever it happened to be, or their plow, their equipment, what they were going to put inside there. And I mean, you're asking for a huge building. And I mean, I understand you want to grow the business. That's also good, but it would be nice to see if.
Yeah, I'll put everything out for you guys.
If you could put everything inside of a plot plan or whatever.
We
they
could
call
give you
it.
an inventory of what was all planned to be stored there and things like that.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
think what Tom's referring to is in the footprint of the building itself, right? You put your, you know, your plow or your tractor, so we can see how it fits. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody, I
So
mean,
just so we are all on the same page, and we'll adjust this agenda, but a new local law that just got passed this year now allows, instead of just the straight 600 square feet, now we go with some acreage. So 5 acres is the top number. So 5 acres or more is allowed 1,200 square feet without a variance. So we'll change that 600 to 12. And then instead of 2,600 for the size of the barn, That's now 4,160 square feet. So the difference in the variance you're now seeking is 2,960 square foot variance.
Right.
So just so we all have the right numbers, and we'll change this, and the public hearing will reflect the new numbers.
And just for our clarification, the lean-to is like a carport?
It has a roof, right?
So because it has a roof, that's
Well,
why
it's a-
it would
it's a
trigger the
structure.
square
It's
footage?
part of the structure, right? So it has to meet snow load, wind load.
Of course. No, I was just curious.
No, if you put a carport up and it has a
That
roof.
would count as square footage?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we will be out there on Saturday the 10th.
Okay.
And we will schedule your public hearing for that following ZBA meeting, which would be the 13th.
We'll make ourselves available for both.
Sorry? Yes. Can't hear you.
The 13th.
Yeah, right, yeah, right. The public hearing will be 12:13, the site visit will be 12:10.
And I think we can handle this offline, but I'm not sure if you would require re-noticing because the requested relief is different than what it was tonight?
Well, we haven't, the public hearing notice hasn't gone out yet. It
Okay.
will go out now, and it will go out with the corrected numbers.
Gotcha.
We can
Okay.
keep it going from last year.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
it was
you.
kind of withdrawn, so we're kind of starting from scratch. We didn't make the payment fees, and we just have more information.
Thank
But
you.
yes, so it's going to be a new public hearing notice with these numbers.
Excellent.
Okay.
That answers everything I have.
Wonderful. So then we'll see you.
Post, and do you need to get them something to post on the
Yeah.
property?
I wasn't prepared for this.
Well, we didn't know where we were going.
Going with this,
Mhm.
yeah.
So can,
So if a sign is needed, I can have Mr. Glazer retrieve that from the zoning office, if that works?
can he come? Let me just look at the calendar.
How long does it have to be posted for?
About 5 days.
Okay, so we have a little bit.
So if you can't pick it up tomorrow, you're not in tomorrow, so how about one day next week? It's tough when it's a holiday week.
I understand.
So, yeah, so even Monday, Tuesday, you still have a full 2 weeks. And then B, we'll put the notice in next week, and that will appear in the December 6th Southern Dutchess newspaper.
Okay,
You'll be responsible to pay for that ad. And when you pick up the sign, Ms. Agunti will give you the list of property owners that you'll need to send that legal notice to register the term receipt.
perfect.
So you'll get a package, she'll explain it to you, and there's instructions.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Right. So we'll see you on the 10th. Want your picture back?
Thank you.
All right, we have some more business to take care of tonight.
So I don't have that laser package.
I'm not gonna be here.
Okay, well, we'll give them the option, you know, if they want to do it. They'll probably postpone. I'm gonna guess.
I would guess.
Yeah.
To the new year,
Right, so,
last meeting.
Lisa, you're welcome to stick around.
I have stuffing to make.
Well, thank you for coming tonight, and we'll chat soon.
Thanksgiving.
All right, have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, next order of business tonight would be the vote on the 2023 schedule. Everybody had a chance to take a look at that, I'm sure. I do not have any revisions or objections. Anybody else? All right, could I have a motion, please, to accept the 2023 ZBA meeting dates?
Make a motion to accept?
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And with no other further business then for tonight, could I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Have a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.